Hi. So today I've decided to work on the squid. Got my iced coffee. It's so warm up here. My ice is pretty much melted. Gonna start with the 14s as usual. Just because I can't decide where to start, but the 14s are most of the background on all of them. So sometimes I'll skip around. We all do it different, I suppose. I don't think there's any standard way of doing it. Gonna try to keep it in focus, or keep it at least where... I always have the hardest time with that. And yet... Oh, goodness. I think I have the TV on downstairs. I'm so sorry about that. I hope you can't hear it. So I guess I'm going to just keep talking and talking and talking. I was watching something about, there's a trial going on in the States, a woman named Sarah Boone. And apparently she, I don't know how it started. I don't know how he got in there, but her boyfriend was in a suitcase and he couldn't get out, and she wouldn't help him, and he kept saying, "I can't breathe," and she laughed at him. And now she's going to trial, and her 8th lawyer, I think they're publicly paid for lawyers, so they're pro bono lawyers, I don't know what you call them. Anyway, she's on her 8th lawyer, and the judge just excused the 8th lawyer, and now she's going to be representing herself. And apparently she wrote a 58-page letter to the court, but I don't know, like from what I've seen of the letter, I don't think it was meant for the court as much as it was meant for... Whoops, I gotta slide that back. As much as it was meant for the public. It was, she was really praising herself, and she was the victim, and she doesn't ever address the fact that she killed a man. I think her defense is that she was drunk, which, as far as I'm concerned, being drunk is no excuse for anything. I don't drink often, and if I do drink, if I'm with friends up at their cottage or something, and I have got drunk once or twice, like falling down drunk, but you know what? I remember every single thing I did the next morning, so this, you know, being so intoxicated you don't remember, I don't believe that. It might be true for some people, I don't know. But anyway, so it's a pretty interesting case. I don't know, like, when she goes to trial. I'll probably watch it after it's over, because while it's, you know, while the trial's going on, it's more interesting if you have, I find it more interesting to watch the lawyers, the YouTube lawyers' comments after the fact. That's always more insightful to me. But, yeah, so I might actually just stop talking, turn off the sound, and then either do a voiceover or add music again like I did last time. I don't know if anybody likes that. You can always tell me if you do. Okay. I made a cake. Oh my gosh. I usually, if I make a cake, I'll use a box cake, but with so much stuff going on about not knowing what's in our food and the price of everything, I decided I'm just gonna make one from scratch. And it's like a normal vanilla cake, except I make my own vanilla, and I happened to, because pure vanilla is expensive, so I make my own. And I made quite a bit of it. About, I think I had like 750 mils. And I had it in a old maple syrup jar. And I mean, it was probably, more than half full. And I reached for it and I smashed it all over the floor. The shards of glass were everywhere. I got that all cleaned up. But I don't have any vanilla. So I decided, oh, I'll just make this cake almond because I had some pure almond extract, which I have no idea how to make at all. Anyway, so this cake is like a normal cake, flour, sugar, no baking soda, but baking powder, which has baking soda in it, so that's okay. So a little bit of milk, flour, sugar, baking powder, and 4 eggs, which is a lot for a cake. And I thought, no, that's a lot of eggs. So I made the cake and I baked it, and that was not yesterday, the day before. And I had a piece of it, and oh my God, it is the densest cake in the world. It's not very sweet at all. I think it only had like a half a cup of sugar for 2 9-inch rounds. That's really not a lot of sugar, especially when you consider how much would be in a slice. I could not believe how dense that cake was. Denser than any pound cake, that's for sure. So it would have been a good cake for if you had to take a cake somewhere. But I didn't ice it or anything because it was just too dense. I think I would have had to have, I don't know if making a sugar syrup and soaking it would have made any difference, but boy oh boy was that cake dense. Beautifully white though. It's a beautiful white cake, but dense. Like when you make a box cake, and it's all mixed up and it comes out of the oven, it's nice and airy. And another thing I did that was different than normal is I mixed it by hand instead of pulling out my mixer. So that might have made it a little bit denser as well because I wasn't beating air into it. I wonder if that could be the whole problem, is just not beating air into it. Oh, there's another one of those bad ones. Keep finding them, especially in the 14s. There's a lot of these drills that are not, these ones have like the rhinestone on top, but the bottom is silver. And sometimes I find one and the whole thing is silver. It's shaped properly like the rhinestones. Oh, that one's popping off. But it's silver. The whole thing is just silver. So I pop those out. I keep them. And there's been quite a lot actually. Well, you can't see that, but this is just from these coasters, and there's been quite a few of them. So I don't know why, but I always save the bad ones anyway because I can use them to fill things up. I made, with resin, I made a jar and a little, oh, what are those things called? Like a knick-knack tray, the oval knick-knack trays with them. So, but with these shiny ones, I can use them for eyes and things like that, so I don't throw them out. Plus, it's always good to see how many of them are bad. And like I said, I paid $8.99 for these coasters. I believe there's 8 of them. And the little wire frame. So they're much more expensive now. So, but overall, it's been very good. It's it hasn't given me too much trouble, like with my other diamond paintings. There was one that had words on it. I can't remember what it was. I've since wrecked it, just because it hurt my feelings every time I looked